Okay, well, we're talking to Brad Raw about SMSFs, and one of the questions we get occasionally from time to time is usually from older clients or people who are in pension phase or are sort of winding down their fund in terms of how much is in there. One of the questions we get from time to time is when's the time to actually wind up a fund? When's it actually time to actually close it?
When you're looking at closing your self-managed super fund, it's looking at what are the current investments that you've got in there. Are there any children that you want to bring in that might be continuing to run that super fund once you were to pass away? But it all comes down to if there's a lot more work involved in ongoing management of that self-managed super fund, and the trustees are getting to that age where they just don't want to be worrying about making sure they're checking their shares regularly and might be buying and selling shares to keep the returns going. They might just be going, this might be the time of, it's just getting too much paperwork and too complicated. I might need to wind this down because I don't need to spend the time actively managing my super fund. I just need to receive a pension and that's pretty much it till they were to maybe pass away from that side of things. So making sure that the time that you're spending doing it, if you want to continue to do that, we find a lot of our older clients will want to spend that time doing it specifically because it keeps them active and something for them to do. But a lot of the times it might be, this is overwhelming, a lot of paperwork, a lot of information. I just don't have the time. I want to enjoy my retirement. So they may look to widen it down a bit sooner. It shouldn't just be, well, someone passed away, I need to wind it up. It should be something that you consider on a regular basis. Maybe the balance is getting a bit too small. A lot of work going into the accounting fees, the audit fees, the ATO fees are just becoming a lot more costly than what there is actually for the benefit of keeping it open as well.
And in terms of dollar amount, investments, as you say, is one thing. I mean, like dollar amount, is it like less than 100,000 or something like that? Is that
I think it comes back to like the income that asset is generating. If that was sitting in your personal return, what's the tax that you're going to be paying? If you're paying, if you still had $200,000 that was somehow generating $50,000 a year, you might be paying a lot more tax outside of super. But if you're only earning, $10,000 or $20,000, you're below the tax-free threshold. So it's probably going to be more cost effective to wind it up and just put those shares or investments in your own name because you're going to have that tax-free threshold. So it's probably talking to your accountant or your administrator to understand, if I was to do this, what's the tax consequences and what's the benefit of actually having no more costs of super fund, deed updates, ongoing SMSF management versus just paying a little bit of tax or no tax from that side of things.
That makes a lot of sense. If you're one of our clients, have a chat to us before you go down that path.